Welcome to the Meltdown. We're talking the business of sports with host Vince Thompson, the president, founder, and CEO of Melt, one of the leading sports marketing companies in the country.
Welcome back to this week's Meltdown. I'm Vince Thompson, founder, chairman, CEO of Melt, and we're loaded up this week. We call it a potpourri. Maybe it's a stew, maybe it's a gumbo, but let's dive right into it. We got a lot to talk about. Follow me on social media if you don't already. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, @Vinny Inc., LinkedIn, Vince Thompson, YouTube, subscribe to our channel. This is where the Meltdown lives, or www.meltatl.com. What's going on with college basketball? Is the bubble bursting? What's going to happen? This week's startling announcement that ESPN is not going to be able to replicate the NBA bubble at Disney for a whole host of reasons. So multiple tournaments, preseason tournaments we've been involved in with many, many years that ESPN owns and operates will not be played this year. Some are going to be played in splinters, maybe at the Mohegan Sun, maybe in Vegas, maybe none at all, as we continue to sort of try to grind down, figure out what's going to happen with this college basketball season. March Madness and the Final Four, which is supposed to be in April in Indianapolis, obviously my favorite time of the year. The financial consequences of no March Madness this year will be beyond devastating. $900 million less into the NCAA coffers, push back down to the colleges, push back down to the athletic programs. Not sure how much more everybody will be able to stand to that. So keep your eye on this story because it's going to be a big story. It's going to be bubbling all throughout the holidays. Big 10 had a tremendous successful comeback and kickoff. Kudos to Kevin Warren. I know we've got some curveballs this week. My man David Cohn's Michigan Wolverines looking good. Justin Fields at Ohio State. Can you imagine if he was still at Georgia? Jalen Waddle's injury at the University of Alabama. Clemson rocking and rolling. If we can get to the finish line of the conference championships and the college football playoff, it will make for some tremendous holiday viewing. However, we are beginning to see the first wave of cancellations of bowl games. Can those games ever come back? Because as we know, the television money and the ticket sales and the local community dollars are really what fund a lot of these bowls. ESPN owns a lot of these bowls. Maybe there should have been a shakedown anyway, but obviously the debut of the Fenway Bowl, which would have been amazing. They play one in Yankee Stadium. That's amazing. 5 already canceled: Red Box, San Diego, Bahamas, Hawaii, Fenway. The hits just keep on coming. So keep an eye on this, but it's probably the right thing to do, or it is the right thing to do. Fans aren't going to be comfortable traveling for the virus or the financial side of it or COVID. It's usually a great reward for the kids during the holidays. And so let's just get through 2020. But this is going to be, I think you'll see more and more bowls probably cancel, probably not the big ones, probably not the ones tied to the CFB or some of the ones that are mainstays, our dear friends Steve Hogan down in Orlando, those games as well. But I do suspect we'll be in double digits of bowl cancellation very soon. College game day. Who would have ever thought a year ago broadcasting from the ninth hole at Augusta? You can't make this stuff up. I mean, if I would have taken this to Hollywood and said, hey, look, I think I'll do game day from Augusta National in the middle of the fall during college football and the Masters, they were like, do what? So no attendance at the Masters, but we will have college game day. It's going to be a tremendous weekend. Can you imagine watching some great college football, the pros, the Masters, It's going to be beautiful down there, but you cannot make this stuff up. But it is certainly going to be a sight to behold, but it shows you the power of the television money. It shows you the power of Disney. It shows you the power of ABC. Shows you the power of ESPN, that the vaunted Augusta National membership would allow this to occur. I want you to think about that. That is big. But ESPN televises the Masters on the early rounds, globally, internationally. Obviously, it's a very heavily trafficked site. ESPN Plus, they're probably going to try to lure in some streaming and digital subscribers as well. But who knows? This may be a new trend of sort of mixing it up. We're beginning to see lots of new innovations tailored toward the at-home and the in-home viewer. The iPhone 12 is coming out. It's going to replicate basically another television in your hand. But how does that portend for the looming attendance issues that could continue to remain with college basketball, college athletics, and goodness knows what's going to happen next fall? We saw another one bite the dust, FanX, Fan Experience, an Atlanta-based company that sold and marketed remnant sports tickets and upgraded Fan Experience, owned by Cox, paid over $200 million for them several years ago. Bite the dust. I think you're going to see a lot of this, but you're going to also see a lot of innovation around attendance and innovation and fans and the legal wagering acceleration. A lot of good chaos on the horizon. And obviously NIL is going to make a huge impact. But before I get into that with Trevor, congratulations to my dear friends at Topgolf, a great Coca-Cola customer. Amazing people, amazing vision. Callaway is about to pay $2 billion for the remaining shares that they didn't own. They own 14%. I know those people really, really well. Great people. So kudos to that. We'll see where the future of golf goes. We'll see where the future of entertainment or fan-ertainment goes. We'll see if a golf company will leave the management in place at Topgolf, because Topgolf is actually not a golf company. It's an entertainment destination. Think of Dave & Buster's or those types of things, and just so brilliant in nature. But we'll see where Topgolf comes back. But again, congrats to my dear friends Jen Gray and the team out there. We had a memorable evening in Hilton Head last year at the Heritage, and just a great group of people. Cable cutters, keep your eye on this story. This is falling like a rock. The virus has accelerated, believe it or not, in a weird way, the cord cutting. I think the vitriol in politics is accelerating cord cutting. I think the ease of gaining programming through a giant number of streaming apps is accelerating the cord cutting. But let me explain to you how the math of cable works. In the universe which existed of 110 million cable homes, $7 of your cable bill per month or more went back to ESPN. That's $1 billion nearly every month. 70% of ESPN's revenues came from cable subscription. The other 30% was advertising based against the reach of 110 million homes. So if you cut that in half and you don't make up for it from streaming services or piracy or the dilution thereof, what happens to the rights fees in the future? Does an Amazon step in? Does a Facebook step in? But that math is going to be completely different. It may even break down around revenue sharing, for goodness sake. It's going to impact salaries. It's going to impact the valuation of these teams. I'm seeing the valuations are holding steady with the teams. The Mets just sold for over $2 to $3 billion. But MLB has another gigantic debt stake, $8 billion in debt. But what happens if this lingers for about another year? What happens if there's not a vaccine? What happens if there's not a universal acceptance of the vaccine? But this is a massive story. And I agree with this. AOL CEO Jonathan Miller, the only thing holding bundled together today is live sports. It's the only place you can get an aggregation of massive eyeballs right now. It's driven by fantasy. It's driven by wagering. You're going to see the acceleration of legal wagering. That may keep it in the game. But I've been saying this for years. The business model and the shelf life of cable, which is now damn near 40, 50 years old, has probably run its course. And so keep an eye on this story. This is a big story. Can Trevor Lawrence again save the NCAA? He threw us a head fake this week. I've already told you where I feel. I love him. I love his leadership. I've given him 500 million reasons why he shouldn't come back again. Look at Jalen Waddle, another sterling example of that. Top 5 draft pick, breaks his ankle. I think he's going to be fine. He's going to retain his value. I don't know what his insurance policy was like. But Trevor kind of threw a little bit of a head fake in that he might stay again. Now, going to play for the Jets is probably worth staying back. Do the Falcons tank? Do the Falcons get him? But I think that going to the Jets would probably be a professional life sentence, death sentence up there. Obviously, it's where great quarterbacks go to die. The allure of Broadway Joe doesn't exist anymore. But if I'm a betting man, I don't think he stays, other than if he is able to find the insurance policy. Now, on the other side of that, with NIL, we estimate that Trevor could probably make a good $5 to $10 million next year, maybe more. NIL is coming down the pike, and it's coming down fast. But a lot of money to leave on the table. And that's just the salary, probably $35, $40 million. And who knows where the NFL values will be and the salaries will be and the prices will be post-COVID, particularly if it lingers. But you got to love his spirit. And Trevor, whether you stay or not, I've got some deals for you. So that's a wrap for this week's Meltdown. Very excited about the new book. Pre-order it at Amazon.com, Build Brand New. It's out December the 1st. Makes a great stocking stuffer for your college student, a great holiday gift. I'm very excited about it. We're doing media interviews all over the country. Our pre-sales have been amazing. Hearing from so many college kids, but a lot of packed action this week in the Meltdown. I'm Vince Thompson, founder, chairman, CEO of the Meltdown, and we'll see you next week.
Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at MELTATL, and follow Vince at Vinny Inc. and on LinkedIn as Vince Thompson.